Alright, here is my walk around video of my 1978 FJ40 Toyota Land Cruiser. It's fairly clean. I made sure not to cover up anything that I didn't want people to see. So this has 127,000 miles, almost 128. The interior has been redone, I'm pretty sure, by a previous owner a long time ago. It's kind of fun though. I don't really mind that it's not the stock black or gray. You can see here's the floorboards. Like I said, I didn't cover anything up, so when I went through, I made sure not to paint anything. I just scrubbed and cleaned all the spots where any kind of surface rust, or I was just making sure that it was surface rust, not anything else. You can see that I went through and kind of touched up some spots that I thought, might be a question. Those ones weren't, obviously, but just showing you kind of what that looks like. Got the center console that has great patina on it. It's got the 4-speed transmission that, let me see if I can get this to focus. That works great. It's really does well for the truck itself. We're not missing any of the knobs or anything. A previous owner added this as a power source for the carb fan. Not a huge fan of that. It does work good, if you're doing a long drive, it's nice to turn that on. You don't boil the gas in your carburetor. Usually factory, they just turn on automatically when the truck's warm, and then turn off after 15 to 20 minutes. So that's the inside of that. I went ahead and bought the OEM Toyota steel wheels and hubcaps with lug nuts as well. Painted them the factory gray color, that machine gray. Added a sticker for people who have to pass me on the freeway. So the only problem spot on this truck is, or anything that's really seen any kind of replacement, is this rear door is obviously not the same color, but clean nonetheless. A little bit of rust showing up here in that door. Here's the back. Super clean as well. Excuse the tripod. We got jump seats that fold down. You can click these out like that. Those just drop down. Got the Toyota seat belts. Super clean factory roll bar. I did do the headliner. I had to redo that because I was left with bits of foam, and that was about it. It turned out great. I was pleasantly surprised. It was my first headliner. There's a couple ripples and stuff like that, but other than that, super clean. It's got the factory line right there, and then perforated, went with the factory what was there before. So yeah, this is the back here. Nothing alarming rust wise. There was some rust in the back here. I scrubbed it just to see if it was surface. It was, just went to bare metal. Like I said, didn't want to cover it up because I'm not trying to cover anything. I really like, showing the original car and the patina. So that one of my goals was never to cover anything up, mostly just clean it up and enjoy it. So that's the back. And sometimes this just needs a good slam, and then it's fine. It's that. When I went through, I replaced the bushings in the tire swing out here, tire carrier. So went ahead and redid that and those. I'll show a video of that on YouTube, but it's nice and quiet now. No sound. It used to be kind of a gnarly rattle that, it really took from the truck. Everyone hopped in and was like, what the hell? So that was great to replace that. Yeah, on this side we have the tank filler. We have the original one right here under the passenger seat, and we have the conifer dual tank setup. It would probably be a good idea to redo all of those connections on the second tank. I looked through it, didn't really need to be replaced, but you know, as anyone who likes to refresh things, that's something that would be a good thing to go to, just to have it working perfectly and not be something on the back of your mind. So this is the passenger side, super clean. We have a 4+ front bumper, as well as a shackle reverse kit back in there. So there's that shackle reverse here. This is one of the spots that had some surface rust, you know, and I think it was just because when they burnt through to do the shackle reverse, they didn't really prep the paint well enough. There was paint there when I got to it. I just scrubbed it all off. It still has manual steering, so no power assist here, but still super fun, responsive on the road, and you know, just a real joy to drive. I haven't experienced a manual car like this before, and it's been nothing but fun for me. We have the U-bolt flip kit, so you'll see there's no U-bolts hanging down for you to smack. Show you some of the problem spots. There is this spot here where the paint just, you know, something got underneath, a little bit of rust, maybe a little bit of surface rust, bubbled that paint and just exposed the metal here. So this little piece, you know, bolts off, and you can respray it if you want. It didn't bother me too much. I didn't mind it at all. Another spot on this truck is here. You can see some paint flaking here from the respray. I believe the respray was done, you know, I mean, it could have been done in the 80s, early 90s. It looks as old as a truck, so it was kind of deceiving when I first bought it. I didn't even notice there was a respray. You know, I've grew up with this truck rolling around town in Pagosa Springs, and you know, always wanted it. So when it came up for sale, I didn't even ask questions. Not that a respray is anything to be alarmed about, but just something to note. Right here is another spot where it's kind of got a little bit of a bubble going to it. I'm not sure the story on this. I know that it's pretty common for a spot to show up here. I went on the backside and I didn't see anything alarming, and I'll show pictures of that in my posting. But yeah, that's another spot that you know, you want to be aware of. But it really doesn't look too bad for me. All right, so moving around, everything else is just really clean for being a respray. The other thing to note is on the back here, on that seal, you typically see this rusted out. I don't know what happened. I think that, you know, at some point someone backed into this, smacked it, but you can see a little bit of Bondo showing up here, that rust coloration. So everything's pretty solid. I didn't see anything that was alarming, you know. I was surprised to see Bondo, but with a truck of this age, not really. The insides are super clean, but you can see they must have done some work on the seal. I don't know if it got smashed and they had to fix it, because it didn't seem like, you know, a typical rust and cut and replace kind of thing. But you know, it's hard with these trucks. You don't know the full history until you start digging. I've dug a lot on this, and it's really clean to me. Obviously, if you're looking for a perfectly restored truck, this is not that. This truck has never been gone through a restoration process. I think it's just been enjoyed and driven like a 40 should. If this is a truck that you want to do for a restoration, I think it's a great candidate. I mean, it has everything here. The only thing that I found that was missing was the bottle jack, and that goes underneath the driver's seat there. You can still order those on eBay or find them on I Hate Mud. So that was the only thing that really stood out to me as missing. Everything else is super clean and in the correct location, which is great. I've kind of taken some time to really clean things up, as I've had it more of just deep scrubbing and replacing bolts and, you know, things that I thought you know, just help the truck. Like these bolts, I went through and replaced those, and just little things. Put factory bolts back in the license plate holder because there was some that weren't. Yeah. All right, we're gonna do a quick overview of like inside fender wells here. So this is the front driver side. So you can see a little bit of rust. Really wanted to point out how this truck has an undercoating, which sucks. Like I mean, the undercoating is good for one thing, protecting the truck. But you know, as time goes on, I'm sure this happened early on. They sprayed it. You're left with it, you know, chipping off, flaking over time, which makes touching up not impossible, but you know, to get a clean finish, you got some work. But you could tell just how shiny the original frame is under there, and then you can kind of see, you know, the rust buildup over here where they burnt through that and kind of chipped at it. So there is undercoating on this. Unfortunately, something that I would never do. I just do fluid film, obviously, but you know, wasn't the original owner. So here's that spot on the driver's side that you know, had a little bit of a bubble. So nothing real alarming. There's some dirt. You can see like a little bit of, once again, I think it's just the undercoating chipping off. That's not rust right there. You can see dirt as well. Frame is in good shape. It's not bad. You know, there's a couple surface rust stuff going on here, like on the back axle here, but nothing, you know, a wire brush and some paint really couldn't fix. And you know, at one point I was like, oh, I'll get under here and scrub this all off. And then I live in such a dry climate that it really doesn't change, you know, anything. Like, I'm not going to gain more rust by not getting under here right away, which is great. I'm fortunate to be in that kind of climate. You can see we got a leak here, rear main is what I'm thinking. That's a little drip, but you know, I never get any spots where I park or anything like that, which is great. Knuckles have been rebuilt. I swapped out the brake line on the front axle, so that's in great shape. No leaking around the pinion seals, which is wonderful. All the protection, like as far as the belts and the radiator plates, are still there. Well, for the starter and distributor. The transfer case protector is still here. This is one spot that, you know, I like to bring up. It's not leaking bad. It just has buildup on the back of the transfer case. Output seal should probably be replaced, but then it's not leaking gnarly by any means, and there's fluid in there. I went through it, so it's not bad. Exhaust is still in great shape. No holes that I'm seeing anywhere, and you can see that there's the secondary tank under here. But yeah, everything's, you know, in the proper spot. No serious rust up in here. I'll get you back in that. So that's all looking tasty, you know, just a little scrubbing and some paint, really. I mean, even if you wanted to just fluid film it, if you live in a climate that has rust, you could do that. But yeah, this truck really is pretty clean underneath. All right, so here is the back of the back axle, and you can see Everything seems to be all in the right spot. We got the dual tank here, looking proper. You know, they did an angle so your departure angle is messed up. You can still smack it. Obviously this one has been smacked before, so it's funny to see. All these drips right here just from me cleaning the truck, not from gas or anything like that. Yeah, so this is the backside. Got a hookup for a trailer, Pendle hitch. So yeah, I mean, any questions or comments, any other videos that you guys, you know, want of the truck anywhere, I'm more than happy to send you any photos, videos, FaceTime, you name it. You want to see the truck start up over FaceTime, you know, I'd be happy to do that. But yeah, this is the truck in its entirety. Here's that protective layer again. Overall, just wonderful truck. I've loved owning it. It's been great to own a 40. It's been a lifelong dream for me. Sadly, I have to sell it. I don't really have the space for it right now. And being that I'm 26 just isn't the best time of my life to own 2 Land Cruisers. I know, gasp, you should. But yeah, just trying to be a little bit more responsible moving forward through this year. And I want to see it go off to a good home where someone will get to enjoy it as much as it should be enjoyed. So thank you so much for checking out my walk around video. I hope that at least one of you is inspired to maybe purchase the 40, or if not, work on your own 40 or search for one in your area. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. You can comment in the section down below this video. Reach out to me on Instagram at Colorado.Cruiser. I'll also have my contact information as well as links to the listing for it. But thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next time.